Bael. That's like a pretty demonic biblical name as far as I know.
Okay, it looks like my stream might be back up. Yeah, it's back up. Okay.
Cool.
Um. Oh, everybody was so nice. They were trying to privately message me and let me know what was going on. You guys are so sweet. I'm not going to post a new link in my chat because I'm lazy and I'm enjoying our conversation. But usually, actually, I should do that. I should be professional.
Yeah, it's cool. Do it. It's good. You got the time.
Cool.
I'm just, continuing to paint purple.
Let me get that going. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I got this laptop used, and mostly I'm intending to just use it for editing, because it is more efficient at computing power than my previous one. But it might not be the best for streaming, so we're learning. We're learning it. Josh, you are first this time. Yes, correct. Good job. A plus for you. Excellent. Gold star. Gold star in the chat right there.
Yeah, sorry, Josh. You gotta restart your streak now.
Yep. He's usually pretty good, though. I'm impressed. I'm never first comment on anything. That's not something I strive for. I think back when I was playing Neopets, if I'll talk about Neopets endlessly as well, but like trying to get items from shops there was enough of a challenge for me that I don't feel the need to further compete at internet firsts.
Apparently, Cyber Scorpio, that Ars Gotia thing they mentioned was one of the 3 tomes of King Solomon.
Cool.
And some people in my chat were also talking about if you were in a Gunpla battle, what Gunpla would you use?
Oh, I can answer that fairly easily. I would use this one, the one that I am painting, because there's no way that I can kill things if the suit isn't adorable, and this one's pretty cute.
Priorities of warfare. Your mech has to be adorable.
Right? If it doesn't, I'm gonna put little ooh, like blushies on its little cheeks. It'll be cute. It'll be great.
Imagine the last thing you see on the battlefield before you die is this like chunky mobile suit zooming towards you, and it's got like an ooh-woo decal on its armor.
Yeah. Like mine would be
bonks you with like a pizza oven hammer.
It would be kitted out like a giant like Pop-Tart or cookie or something like that. It would be adorable. I have a brand. I feel like it's something that would apply if I were an anime character. I see no reason why my mech should be exempt from that.
Yep, your answer is totally on brand. Hello, Knight Rider. I am painting real grade Sasabi Kit Bash. I'm painting it to pieces right now, but you can see whips of it on my social media if you want to see what it looks like built together. I feel like, or before you get into it, I'll ask my chat, maybe your chat too, how many JoJo's Bizarre Adventure watchers do we have with us?
Absolutely, yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to assess before we start. Obviously, disclaimer, I'm going to spoil things. If you haven't watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, even what I spoil will not capture how fucking stupidly weird this show is, so...
It's kind of a show where, like, it's one of those shows where spoilers aren't, like, super important, I would say. It's more about the vibe, you know?
It definitely has a vibe.
The vibe being what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, that's close to it. That's close to it for sure. Josh...
Yeah, good warning. So
Josh says...
for part 1 and 2.
Josh says he's seen Jojo Rabbit, which unfortunately is not what we're going to be talking about. Although, if you had to get a director to make an a live-action adaptation, Taika Waititi is the perfect choice for a live-action JoJo's.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the people that might be able to pull something off. But,
like, it wouldn't be good. Don't get me wrong. Like, people wouldn't like it, but it would still be perfect.
Make it. It's a terrible idea.
Don't make it.
Please don't.
Don't make it.
Well, actually, there are there is a live action Japanese adaptation of Part 4 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I haven't watched it. I've heard it's bad because, it's a live action anime adaptation. They're almost always bad.
They're almost always bad.
Okay, Ethan Nelson. I'm going to embellish a bit of what they said, but Ethan Nelson says, Muda, 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 Zawarudo. And then he says, Bro, Mayhem, next Gamma Wolves Gundam should be Dio.
Yes, I support that. All right, let's just jump into it because it doesn't matter. I'm just going to start talking about JoJo's because the Dio comment set me off.
Just quick recap for people who came in late. Last guest stream, I brought up JoJo and Fiverr was like, oh, I'll watch some and then we can talk about it next guest stream. And they watched 2 full parts of JoJo.
2 full parts.
So yeah, go nuts, Fiverr.
Absolutely. Okay, so disclaimer: I knew nothing about JoJo except for that it was very weird. The style was going to be super anime, and that there were something called stands at one point, which doesn't even I knew that, but it's not even relevant until part 3. So all of the stuff that I knew basically didn't matter. But I didn't know that it was a period piece. That was the most shocking thing, that this took part in the past, in an actual historic time period, was where JoJo Part 1 takes place. And I'm watching the English dub, which is going to be divisive, but that's just what came up on Netflix first for me to watch. So, but
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
It's American anime voice actors half remembering that they're supposed to be British at some point, so it's god awful, but in the weirdest way. It's so strange. Yeah, it was crazy. But I watched
and that's just the dub.
Yeah, that's just the dub alone, not even starting on the fucking content. I don't know. I watched the first 2 episodes, completely dumbfounded about what I was watching. Because, the first episode is kind of stupid in the beginning, because, some JoJo's mom dies or some shit like that in a carriage accident, and then he gets, someone... Is it
Dio's dad rescues JoJo's dad.
Something like that. It's not important, really.
Yeah.
But so that whole thing is kind of boring until you get to the fucking JoJo's dad basically promises this Dio's dad, who actually was just attempting to rob the body that he found at the bottom of a ravine instead of save someone, and JoJo's dad just assumes the best of people and is like, oh, you tried to save my wife, you're such a hero, if you ever need anything, fucking tell me. And then he's like, okay, whatever, bye, rich guy. Because season 1 JoJo is, super rich, and Dio's just, some guy. He's just, working class, dad sucks sort of guy. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. He's gonna be, really relatable, because also, I am not rich, so that would be great. But no, the first thing Dio Brando does when going to this manor is he fucking knees a dog in, the face for doing nothing.
Yeah,
and then
he, his entrance, he, jumps out of the carriage, does a dab, basically, and then kicks the dog.
He kicks JoJo's dog, and then JoJo fucking hates him, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And the guy's just JoJo's dad is oh, he didn't mean it. This is your new brother now, by the way. We're adopting this guy, basically, because his dad tried to save your mom, and this is your new brother, and just learn to get along. And Dio's just, totally being nice to JoJo's dad, while just the most shit-eating grin anytime JoJo does anything. And he's, really fucking mean. No holds barred, hates JoJo right off the bat. It's fantastic. I fucking love Dio. He's such a little shit. He's great. So I watched, I don't know, the first 3 episodes, and, fell asleep on the couch watching JoJo. And I dream basically every night very vividly, like full color. All if
Impressive.
you could record this shit, I would be a millionaire director for just whatever the fucking dreams that I have if I could sell them.
Your brain comes up with some content.
It sure fucking does. But I'm dreaming, and it's not till I wake up that I realize, because I have a dream where I am in the most ridiculous but wonderful outfit. Like, tailored, it's perfect, it's great. I am murdering rich people, there's just blood everywhere. It's not till I wake up that I go, oh shit, I had a dream that I was Dio. What the fuck is happening? So, I'm having a bizarre adventure alongside the bizarre adventure happening
Perfect.
in the show. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I'm not mad about it, though. At no point am I mad, except until season 2, when randomly there's like a Nazi that we're supposed to empathize with. No, that's no, not at all for that. 0 out of 10.
You're talking about the guy with like the really spiky like Street Fighter hair.
Yeah.
Who, like, is a cyborg eventually.
Someone in the chat's gonna shout out what his name is. I don't remember. It sounds like Stroganoff, which it's not Stroganoff, but it doesn't matter. He's not one of the ones named after a band, which is hilarious, by the way.
Speaking of chat, the there was some divisiveness from your dub watching.
Figured.
Ethan says you have to watch part 3 Last Fight in Japanese or it's heresy.
But
And,
Matt
in
Mercer! Matt Mercer is voicing the English dub! It's so funny!
What I would say, so the Joseph Joestar, the like protagonist of part 2, he's also in part 3 as like Grandpa Joseph
old man.
Joestar. And like he specifically is like the source of probably the spiciest memes from part 3 because but like only because the Japanese voice actor for him, because like Joseph Joestar is American canonically, so the Japanese voice actor that's playing Grandpa Joseph has a bunch of like iconic meme lines where he's like "Holy shit" or like "Oh my god."
That's great.
So that is like, I would say that's probably like the biggest argument for watching the Japanese dub of part 3. But, you know, Matt Mercer's also a compelling reason. But at the very least, you know, at some point, make sure you watch some YouTube compilations of like Joseph Joestar memes because it's quite good content. But sorry to interrupt your recap of JoJo.
No, that's fine. I like that we're checking in with the chat as well. I like when people tell me that I'm wrong for just watching the anime the default way that Netflix gives it to you. Like, I'm sorry I'm not switching between English, Japanese, and Italian to find the best dub for each particular season.
Yeah, my friend Kevin's rewatching part 5. I watched part 5 with him recently, and he really likes part 5. And we watch it in Japanese, and he's rewatching it in English. And part 5 is like the entire part is set in Italy, and like all the characters are Italian. And the way he's describing like the way the English voice actors are, they're like very obvious, thick, like American accents. But then like when they have an Italian word in the sentence, just pronouncing it very like harshly with that American accent. It sounds like good content as well.
Yeah, that's probably going to be pretty funny if I ever watched it like that. Someone barely tamed says in the chat, by the way, welcome to the stream. He says, or she says, or they says, sorry, I assumed your pronouns, I apologize. But barely tamed says you haven't lived until you've watched it in the original Russian, which I think is probably not real. However, if there's a Russian dub of Naruto, I do kind of want to see that happen.
But then you have to watch Naruto.
That's true. I've never watched Naruto, so I don't actually know why people hate it, but I feel like I can assume enough about shonen to know that it's not something I would enjoy. However, I am enjoying JoJo, probably not for the reasons that like the people who made the show would have preferred me to. I don't think that it's good. Like, I'm not going to recommend it.
Watching.
Yeah. Because the thing that also we haven't even addressed is, in addition to being a period piece where everybody is named after rock bands, from like the 80s. It is also a vampire hunting show, at least loosely, right? Because
No, it's legit a vampire hunting show, at least in those first two parts. Well, it's kind of unclear whether the Pillarmen are. I guess they're not really vampires, but
I feel like Joseph calls them vampires at some point in time. Whether that means they are or they're not, I don't know. It's very confusing.
It's a moot point.
Part 1, at least, is definitely like a vampire centric
Part
thing.
1 straight up vampirism there.
And
confirmed.
you couldn't have possibly known, but I've been like really into like stupid anime vampires recently just because I've been reading the Vampire Hunter D novels for the first time after watching Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. So,
yeah,
like,
you told me that it fucked.
It does. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust fucks so hard, and you should watch it. Especially since you made me, you didn't make me, you encouraged me to endure JoJo.
It wasn't that hard.
No. I take recommendations pretty easily because I'm often out of things to watch and need new things to watch. But you should watch something, good for a change. Not that JoJo isn't good, but like this is good in a different way, if still equally ridiculous.
I understand.
Because I feel like a lot of JoJo is banking on the fact that part of the appeal of it is just how out of hand everything gets.
Oh yeah.
There's no
one. I heard one person say once when they're describing the show, they described it as a turn-based anime. Did you say you agree?
I agree. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's like in part 1, Speedwagon's role is basically to just narrate all the fights from the sideline and like describe what's happening.
Yeah, they really do. And then like mid-fight, the bad guy will tell JoJo what he's about to do, so that JoJo knows. And then JoJo will also tell the bad guy what he's about to do. So we, the viewer, understand. And in the event that they don't do that, Speedwagon or what's the fucking guy with the top hat? That isn't Caesar.
Baron Zeppeli.
Yep. Led Zeppelin will tell them.
Led Zeppelin man.
Led Zeppelin guy. AC/DC was the one I could not separate the band name from I just was like, that's a band. I can't, there was no suspension of disbelief there.
You have no, like, the band name thing only gets more ridiculous. Like, because you're, like, just at the part where stands are gonna start getting introduced, and, like, all the stands, like, almost all the stands are named after bands as well, but... What's kind of janky...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay, what's kind of janky with, like, the translations is, like when I watch it in Japanese, so I guess minor spoiler for part 4, there's a stand... that's not the greatest example. Yeah, there's, in part 5, there's a stand that's called Moody Blues.
Okay.
That's a typical stand name.
Sure.
But I guess because, so in the Japanese... voice actor will say like Moody Blues, like the romanization or like the way you would say an English word in Japanese that doesn't exist in Japanese, because that's what like one of their alphabets is for. But then the English subtitles has Moody Blues translated into Moody Jazz, because I'm assuming for some weird copyright reason it's like, no, you can't say the name of the song.
That's fantastic, actually.
So I'm assuming if you're listening to the English dub, the English voice actor would probably say Moody Jazz, but I don't know.
Rothian says that that's how most shonen is. They do that so kids can play pretend with their friends, and hence all the shouting out their moves and abilities by name. That's cute, actually, honestly, if that's the reasoning behind it. Like, I kind of love that and forgive it for doing that.
I think the manga author is just, like, he just names them after bands he likes.
Alright, major spoiler warning for the end of Season 2, but we have to talk about the fucking, I don't know if it's the penultimate or the actual final episode, but in this episode, so much happens. I can't, like, the Nazi guy.
Yeah.
The Nazi guy has his legs cut off at one point. Someone gets their head cut off. The bad guy, I think, is just a head at one point, and I don't remember how he gets his body back, but he's still, like, talking shit as he's just a head, and then he, like, launches himself at someone and tries to stab them to death with, like, a horn that he had, like, a unicorn horn. And the solution, the fucking way to solve killing the bad guy at the end is they throw him into a volcano. The volcano does not kill him. He survives the fucking molten lava, gets launched up like the volcano explodes. He's shooting towards the sky, him and JoJo on this rock. And, like, JoJo just fucking kicks him into space or some shit. I don't remember how he but he goes into space and doesn't die immediately. They show him slowly freezing into, like, a crystallized what?
I completely forgot about that part.
How?
It's been a while since I watched part 2.
How is that how you end a season? And, like,
I'm very excited for you to start watching part 3 is all I'll say.
This is after JoJo has flown a plane, right? And at one point, things, like, the bad guy cars can, like, transform into anything, basically. He attains the power of, like, God or some bullshit reason for something. Mm-hmm. But, he shoots a bunch of, like scales at the plane in lieu of bullets, and then they don't do anything for a while. But then when it would be relevant to the plot, they turn into piranhas and start biting shit. Like, what the fuck? What the actual goddamn hell? It's so weird.
Yeah. And every JoJo fight is like has the same basic script. It's like, bad guy goes like, I have this secret technique /power/stand/item, and it makes me totally beatable, and I totally have you beat JoJo, and I'm going to win. And JoJo's like, oh no, how am I gonna beat him? And then
he does.
Some more back and forth shouting happens, maybe some violence, and then eventually the JoJo character is like, haha, this entire time I've actually had an exact counter to your gotcha ability, and I'm gonna reveal my gotcha ability.
I think we can.
The guy's like, oh no, I am very bamboozled that you've done this.
It's just sad. I remember, though, like, feeling cheated in the end of season 1 when the reason that JoJo and Dio die is just because a random ship, like, explodes. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really feel like it was powerful enough to have killed them. And I was really sad because Dio's my favorite character, and I don't know what that says about me. Maybe it's just because I had a dream where I was
the only one.
Dio Brando. But, like, you know, he's fun. He's terrible, but he's fun. And I was kind of sad that he died early. I was like, I would really like to have seen more of Dio. So imagine my fucking shock and joy when, like, season 2 or season 3, I don't remember where it happens, but, like, it just starts with them pulling up a coffin out of the ocean that says Dio on it. And I'm like, I knew my boy wasn't
just says
dead.
Dio on it.
It just has a plaque that says Dio on it. And they're like, D-I-O. Dio. What could that be? And they're like, oh, we should just fucking open it. There's probably treasure in this coffin-shaped thing that we fished out of the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, I'm sure. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like
Who puts bodies in a coffin?
Who puts bodies in a coffin? Like, that's not... that's a fucking dumb, stupid reason. But it really doesn't stand out amongst all the other dumb, stupid reasons that just happen in this show. Like, things literally just happen, and if you try and question them, you're never gonna get anywhere. You literally have to just shrug and be like, okay, I guess sure.
Yeah, that's not how you enjoy JoJo properly.
It's really not. I can only watch it, like, 1 or 2 episodes at a time when I am about to go to sleep. Like, if I've stayed up slightly too late, it's the perfect time for JoJo. Otherwise, I'm just like, this is bullshit, and I can't fucking do it.
Yeah. Like, you're gonna like Dio in part 3 a lot, but like part 3 is like longer than part 1 and part 2 because it's like supposed to be this big long like epic journey. So like Dio is more like the Dio content is more like heavily weighted to the end of the series because the gang has to like get through all of Dio's henchmen first.
Well, yeah.
But, Dio's character design in part 3 is really good too. Like the outfit they gave him.
That's fun.
You'll love it.
Excellent. I'm looking forward.
Burp 6?
I think that's no. I think it's 5. I feel like I would have called out Burp 5 for being 5 because obviously my name. But maybe it's Burp 6. Did you do one while
I feel like it's 6.
Okay, we'll say it's 6. It's fair.
You'll be happy to know in my chat, Sasabi just said, I'm going to watch JoJo for the first time later.
Hell yeah.
Look at us go. And yeah, Robert, I can see. It was just the guest stream, so I'm not paying as much attention to chat as usual. Because clearly, me and Fiverr have a lot of important anime to discuss.
Sasubi, if you join my Discord, I don't want to like take you away from the Millennial Model Mayhem content zone, but
I don't have a Discord. So.
Yeah, Liam doesn't have a Discord, and I would absolutely love to get your initial impressions of JoJo and see if you are like on the same level of me of just going, what the actual hell is happening? I will post a link in my chat, and it's all over like my YouTube channel and stuff. But I would adore hearing your first impressions of this bullshit show. I need someone else to suffer with me. Okay, I need this to happen.
Yeah, will they be able to find your Discord link? Just on your channel, or
it should be. It's in the description of most of my videos, and I'm gonna.
Yes, I think if.
I'll post
they
it
can
in my
click
chat.
on in my video description. I have your channel tagged, so if they click on that, they should be able to find your Discord link easily.
I'm just gonna pop it in my chat for anyone who might have wandered over and also would like to join us. It's free. It's not like a Patreon thing. You can just join it. But yeah, we absolutely. I would fucking love to hear that so much. Genuinely.
Join Fiverr's Discord. I don't have one.
But you can at Liam on there. I wouldn't spam it, but he's there. He checks in every now and again.
Yeah, unless you want to, like, yes, it depends. Do you want to speed run getting blocked by Liam?
That is not a challenge, by the way.
Robert, I missed him earlier. He said to check out Rosario Vampire. I think he was talking to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone said...
That name sounds familiar, but I haven't seen it.
Someone said Black Blood Brothers as well in my chat.
That sounds nice and edgy.
Yeah, that does sound... And I haven't seen Hellsing, which I think is also maybe about vampires. It looks like it's about vampires.
That's another one of those 90s ones that's, like, got good gore, I believe.
Yeah, that's kind of on my list as, like, the next series to tackle after JoJo, because... I really do want to see all of the bullshit that I'm in for with JoJo parts 3, 4, and 5. Although I have to admit, the JoJos themselves getting ruder and worse people, it feels like as they progress, is really fucking off-putting. Like
it's like the first one, Jonathan, is like just a pure, like, gentleman.
Such a nice guy. He's boring, but he's nice, you know?
And Joseph is kind of a shithead.
I really didn't like him, but then
He's pretty sassy.
I watched 2 episodes with Jotaro, or Jotaro, I don't remember how to... I pronounced that very American at the start.
Yeah, that was the most white way of saying Jotaro I've ever heard.
I am so sorry. I am very white.
Same.
I'm gonna... Sasabi... says they cannot join the Discord yet because they are not yet 13. Absolutely a valid reason.
Yeah.
We'll just have to do more joint streams so you can check in and occasionally spout your opinions about JoJo at us. That would be great.
Sasabi's shown up to a decent amount of my streams, so I'm sure one or both of us will hear about their JoJo opinions eventually.
Barely
We're
Tamed
just
recommends the first season of Castlevania. I have seen all of Castlevania
oh yeah,
multiple times. It's
yeah,
fantastic. That's
same.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Castlevania is usually the first show when I think of vampire shows or vampire animated shows. I guess if I'm going with live action, I guess I'll think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But
Castlevania is like the first anime that I recommend to people who say they don't like anime because it's so like none of the stuff that happens in the first season feels like anime bullshit. It just feels like vampire powers. It's so easy to get people into and they're like, this is so fucking cool and sweet and the fights are really good. And I'm like, yeah, that's why people like animes because it's cool and sweet and the fights are really good. I want
it's
the
one of those good like Western anime projects. It's like a good gateway,
It is. It is. It's one of the
or
few
it's
like video game adaptations that doesn't suck.
yeah, or it's like a good example to show someone who's like skeptical or someone who might have the opinion or like they're just not informed and kind of think animation's mostly for kids.
Kids, yeah.
It's like a good example of a show. Be like, no, see, look, anime or like animated things can be made for mature audiences, and they can be very good in
They
multiple
can.
ways.
Circling back though, like we were talking about the different JoJo's. So like Joseph, I really didn't like him at the start. I was like, he grew on me towards the end. Still
Well,
didn't
that's
really
good.
like him all that much. Like he was okay. But the third JoJo, he has called his mom a bitch like 3
Yeah,
times, and I'm just like, he's so angry and so
he's
rude.
extremely like
I
delinquent.
I get the personality that they're going for, but holy shit, I hate him so much. He's so bad. I don't like
Yeah,
him.
I remember I watched. I think it was Super Eye Patch Wolf. This YouTuber like break down Jotaro's outfit, his like character design, and like showing off all the different like references in his outfit to like Japanese high school punk culture, like biker gang culture and
hmm
stuff. So, like Jotaro's, yeah, going for that like
I was hope
delinquent 17-year-old, and also he looks like this 35-year-old like mixed martial arts fighter, but he's like 17
teen, yeah.
canonically or some shit.
I was hoping he would be more like Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho, where he just kind of looks like a punk, but he's an idiot. Um, that is not what we got at all. We got an actual mean person. Like, he's not nice, and I don't like him. But maybe he'll change, and if not, a Dio will be there, and that's definitely going to be a selling point for me on this show.
And like there's plenty of time in part 3 dedicated to the other characters too. It's not like not every episode is like Jotaro, I'm gonna punch things and fix the problem,
I
or I'm
expect that
gonna
a
use my
lot of them.
stand to punch things.
I'm excited to figure out all this stand bullshit, honestly. It seems
Oh,
like it's gonna be so dumb, and I'm so here for it.
it's quite the innovation. Like if the author hadn't have like introduced the stand powers, like there's no way the manga would have lasted this long. Just because there's so many like opportunities for creativity and like the design of the stands and their powers that they can have and the way they look and how they like relate to the character. That there's just been like it's like you said in the message, like the escalation just gets like really ridiculous.
It does. I was trying to think about what to compare it to in terms of because nothing I've seen has ever escalated the same way that JoJo has. It's got the exact same problem that Supernatural has, where it's like everything has to constantly be getting tougher so that our characters feel like they're evolving. And where Supernatural didn't know where to go after killing literal God or whatever, JoJo does not have that problem. They're just like, they'll escalate in a completely different direction. It's like, oh, we've exhausted every possible thing that we can do with the Pillarmen, like literally every single thing. Let's launch them into fucking space. Let's throw them in a volcano. Let's have a bunch of German soldiers show up to help save the day at the end of season 2? Why are we doing that? Why was that the choice made? Like, it's a critique that
I have no idea.
I don't know why people are not a lot more critical of that, but like, yeah, the Nazi thing is weird. It's very weird. Cuz at
Yeah,
no
I mean,
point
Japan has a much different relationship to World War II, right?
I guess so.
I don't know when exactly part 2 of the manga would have been written. Maybe like the early 80s. Not entirely sure. I don't feel like, yeah, I barely remembered that like part of the plot. So maybe like most people just they don't remember that part just because of the shit. Like you said, it's like, oh, he launches scales into the plane, and then those turn into piranhas. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's like not easy to just toss aside.
Yeah, it's weird.
We got Mr. No Fucks Givens. Oh, when I brought up Buffy, he was like, Buffy, not Blade, not Bram Stoker's Lost Boys. Yes, those are good too. I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, okay. I don't like Joss Whedon anymore, though. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah.
Let's just...
Yell says, Jotaro is smarter than everyone. He does have a major... Yeah, okay. That's a spoiler I won't read. Jotaro is the big brother who constantly beats up and clowns his younger siblings and their friends.
To be fair, I have only known him
to protect.
For 2 episodes, so I'm totally willing to learn that my opinion is wrong. It's just my initial impressions of him. Also, Brady has joined. Hello, Brady. Thank you. If you love this paint, it's really expensive. It's Cobalt Teal by Golden Soflat. I bought it with Patreon money because it would have been impractical for me to do otherwise. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. To those that do, you allow me to buy shit that I want but could not otherwise afford. And Hector is also here, meowing his thanks as well. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, and Silas says JoJo feels like a D&D session with a fun drunk DM.
That's a great description. That's fantastic.
I think in one of my D&D notebooks somewhere I have a page of random notes where I was like brainstorming ideas for a that I like was also poaching from a D&D podcast I was listening to at the time of like some like JoJo flavor to the campaign where each player in the party can have a stand power, and but the stands are like, you know, the zanier monsters from the monster manual.
That's fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, the idea I got from a D&D podcast called Dice Funk, so credits to the Dungeon Master Austin Yorsky on that podcast for that idea. I can't take credit for it, but I think as a Dungeon Master it seemed like fun.
That's very cool. I like that. Ethan Nelson asks if I am doing a Gamma Wolf's Gunpla as well. Gamma Wolf's is that game that you play with your guys. I don't know. Like, maybe I could use these for Gamma Wolves. I don't currently own the rules, but like that could be fun. So
you're just getting started, so
yeah. I'm gonna
take baby steps with the Gunpla. I find it's like with miniatures, it's easy to like overwhelm yourself by getting too many ideas all at once.
Essentially, right now, I'm just painting my first one to see if I enjoy the process and like the end result, and then I can kind of decide from there whether this is something I want to put into my regular hobby rotation or not. I don't think I'm going to start being a Gunpla channel. I kind of like what I have going with miniatures, but I also just really love variety. It keeps things from getting stale at any point in time, so I'm excited.
Can't do the same thing over again.
Yeah.
I find that even like I've enjoyed all the Gamma Wolves I've done and stuff too, but yeah, after my Gamma Wolves battle report's done, I need a bit of a break from Gamma Wolves content. Not a break from Gamma Wolves, it's just like, oh, I want like my next few videos to not be about Gamma Wolves.
That's fair.
Like, there's been a lot of them, so I feel like I need to switch things up for my sake and other people's sake, but People do seem to very much like the idea of being able to play a tabletop game with Gunpla.
Yeah, that seems cool. Like having an end goal.
Gamma Yeah, Gamma Wolves isn't the only game that does it. I know there are some other ones, but Gamma Wolves is the only one like that I'm knowledgeable about.
Like, I'd totally learn to play if it happened that we were, like, both going to the same convention or something, and I had a couple Gunpla under my belt, and then I'd be like, hell yeah, let's play a game.
Oh yeah, no. If we were meeting up at a con, I would play any game. Well, I can't say that. I wouldn't play like Monopoly with you, but but
I don't know.
Hatred of Monopoly. That's not because of you.
I played Candyland with I attempted to play Candyland with my cats as like a joke, and then made a
Yeah,
video
that was a
out
good
of
video.
it. It's such a stupid video, but it's honestly, like, I don't regret it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of, just because it's stupid and cute, and if I saw it, it would make me smile. So I'm happy about it. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, I would play Monopoly with you if your cats were also playing.
Okay, I just need you to know that Hector would cheat and Achilles would rage quit and probably eat several of the pieces, so we gotta be aware of that.
Yeah, God, your cats are all such toxic gamers.
They're really the worst. You can't take them anywhere. That's why they don't go to Warhammer tournaments with me.
They got major problems with tilt.
They do, yeah. They've been banned from several competition leagues. Except Lobster, but he's guilty by association, so they don't let him compete. That's why they have all those rules that say you can't bring, like, non-service animals into places. People think that that's, like, dogs that misbehaved. It's actually just because of Achilles cheating at various casinos.
That checks out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Cyber Scorpio's asking for our opinions on Bleach. I haven't watched Bleach.
I have not watched Bleach either.
There you go, Cyber Scorpio.
Sorry, no spicy takes there.
I watched, like, an hour and a half long YouTube video about Bleach. That said it was, started off good and then was bad.
I'll have to get you watching some of my obscure Chinese animes at some point in time. Like,
Modao Zushi.
Yeah, I need someone else to talk about Wei Wuxian with, and you're possibly one of the only people who will take an anime recommendation that I give, so I need to try and exploit that for all it's worth.
That reminded me of something else I was going to bring up. I can't remember now. I lost my train of thought. Oh, have you seen No Fucks Givens in my chat was bringing up there's some people on Instagram that do like 2D style painting on Gunpla. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Cell shading style.
It's so good. I want to try that too. I really want to try, because, like, if I didn't already have the idea to paint this like a pizza Gundam, I saw someone on TikTok who, like, repainted a JoJo figurine to make it look more like JoJo. I don't even know. I think I might have sent that to you, and if I didn't, I'm sure that you've seen it. But I wanted to try doing that.
TikTok uninstalled for a while, but I think, I know, like, there's a YouTube painter I watch who, like, repaints anime figures like that. So.
It's amazing. Like,
yeah,
just incredible.
I enjoy it.
But I wanted to see if I could do that with a Gundam. So I might try that at some point in time. Again, depending on if I enjoy the actual process of painting Gundams, which has actually been super delightful so far.
Good. Yeah, the main guy I know who does it, or like the name I can think of on Instagram, their name is just Normal Gunpla, and they do like very good, precise, like anime, like 2D cell shade style painting.
Cool.
Another painter that I always like reference a lot, Sanosuke, where like my style's very inspired from. I've seen like she's tried the 2D style before on like both figures and Gunpla, and it looks pretty sweet. So definitely something I want to try eventually.
I'd love to try that. We should try that at the same point, and then we can
at the
both
same time.
Not like simultaneously, but we should both be like, "Hey, are you ready to try the 2D thing?" And then we can both like commiserate over the struggles of it together. It would be fun.
Yeah. I feel like I would get hung up on or like the lines need to be very like straight and crisp. I feel like that would be the hard part for me. So I'm used to just like blending everything together, but that one is like, no, this is where the shading stops, and now it's just like hard cut to a different color.
Ethan Nelson asked which Gundam I am painting, and Rothian was kind enough to once again say that it is the Iron-Blooded Orphans high-grade Gundam Gushin. And also, Rothian recommended that I might enjoy SD Gundams, because they are...
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, but apparently...
SD
they might be...
for super deformed.
What?
So they're chibi. So they're basically just chibi-style Gundams.
Oh.
And they're cheap, so...
Why would they call them super deformed? That feels so mean. Poor little guys.
I mean, I think it's just like a different language localization thing.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's fair. It still feels mean.
Yeah, SD Gundams have been around for a while, and they're a lot more toy-like and cheaper. But yeah, cute chibi style Gundams, that's basically what a SD is. And there's like varying levels of price and like complexity with them.
Listen, I've learned that Gundams are in no way, shape, or form ever going to be as expensive default as GW, so all of my knowledge of like what pricing structure would be will have me constantly going, this is a really good deal on this Gundam, because it's not the same as Warhammer.
Yeah, for us, like, every Gundam we look at is like, wow, that's so cheap.
Yeah.
And else might be like, bro, that's marked up 40%, don't buy that. It was like, have you seen how much this one Space Marine costs?
Have you seen what a Forge World Cabantha looks like? Because, yes, I want one, but no, I don't want to spend $330 on it. Sad. It's one demon model, and it's a really, really cool demon, but it's just one. It's a single guy. That's it. Can't do it. Not for that amount of money. But if it's like, oh man, well that giant-ass Gundam that's way taller than that, like I saw at the fucking Gundam painting night, I was like, damn, $169 and it comes with a speaker, that's a great deal.
Yeah, and now more people are starting, or like, for the status quo has been like, well, you know, Warhammer, it's miniatures for tabletop games, Gunpla is like just, you know, scale modeling for display, but now more people are doing what I'm doing, and I'm not that I'm the trendsetter or anything, it's just like more people are like getting into that crossover zone and be like, wait, I can be a miniature painter and a Gunpla person. Wait, I can play tabletop games with a Gunpla?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like just in general, people, or like miniatures agnostic games are just like getting a lot of traction the last couple of years.
They really are.
There's just been a lot more of like, well, you know, you don't have to use the official minis to play the game.
Which is really cool. I like that a lot. I also hate that a lot in just, I want to just know, like, I'm bad at remembering rules. So, like, if there's not a picture of what it's supposed to look like in the thing, I will accidentally, like, cheat by forgetting what the fuck my miniatures are supposed to be. Like, that's what I'm terrified of for building my Stargrave crew, is I'm just going to build a bunch of little alien weirdos, and then people are going to be like, that one was supposed to have the cannon, right? And then I'm going to look at my weirdos and be like, I don't remember. So the only way I'm going to remember is if I develop them into fully fleshed out characters and write a stupid backstory for each of them that is not going to be relevant at all to the game that I'm playing. It is solely so that I remember which of these fucks is supposed to have which weapon. I don't...
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
think that people are supposed to war game or skirmish game like that, but it's definitely an option if you happen to be me. Yep.
I mean, I didn't have to choose dumb, like, parody anime character pilots for my Gamma Wolves mechs either, so I support.
how have we not talked about Speedwagon? We've talked about so much, but we haven't touched on the fact that you're like, first of all, this guy's name is Speedwagon. Like, I cannot get over the fact that that is for sure the serious name that they refer to, sometimes as Mr. Speedwagon, which is just even worse somehow. I hate that. I fucking hate it so much. But he's such a good guy. Like,
yes, there's a reason he's everyone's waifu.
He's so sketch at first because, like, I don't remember why JoJo's, like, dropped in the sketchy part of town, which looks exactly like the regular part of town, except they're like, oh, this is the dangerous part, and some goons show up. And then fucking Speedwagon throws his top hat, which is also like a saw blade or some bullshit, at them.
Yeah, it's got like multiple blades, and like, or the rim of his hat like retracts into the hat and comes back out, and it's knives.
And initially he's like, I'm gonna kill you, JoJo, like one of these goons. And then I don't remember exactly what JoJo does, but he does something that's like, I don't know, kind of chivalrous or some shit. And then Speedwagon's like, oh, holy fuck, this guy's amazing. I am now ride or die for this man, completely. And he's absolutely in love with him. Like, I'm not even reading subtext, okay? He full on does the whole full cycle, like, was never married and never found a partner after the love of his life tragically passed.
About that. How sad were you when, like, part two was, like, over already, and then it's, like, an epilogue scene. It's like, and Speedwagon died alone with no children.
I mean...
My friend, when we were watching that, we were like, what? Why'd they have to throw that in at the end there? Oh my god, Speedwagon.
It did feel kind of like a jab, but also...
Yeah, it's like a really unnecessary jab.
It's difficult for me to say I feel sympathy for these characters at any point in time just because they're so over the top. Like, I'm not taking anything seriously at all.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand.
I mean, Caesar died by getting crushed by, like, no, wait, he didn't get crushed. I forget whatever bullshit killed him. But then, like, to rub it in, they literally have a giant stone, like, cross fall on top of his body. And it's like, yeah, like, I just, there's no level of me being emotional about that. And I'm someone who will cry at, like, a ton of animes, so this one's just too over the top, I think, for me to be like, this is gonna hit me emotionally. It is gonna entertain me, though, which is nice.
I mean, I didn't cry when Caesar died, but me and Kevin were pretty broken up when it happened. You know, JoJo's got the tears streaming down his face. He's like, Caesar-chan! We were pretty like, no.
The way that...
I think I was more sad about the Speedwagon part, though.
That's fair. The way that American dub Caesar talks is, like, very much like a bad Italian accent. I don't know if
yeah,
you
I was
know
gonna
that,
ask because I don't know. I haven't like watched any JoJo in English, so Caesar, it's like a bad Italian impression.
Yeah, 100%. He's a little bit hard to take seriously, but like I did like him as a character because JoJo had like the power of plotline bullshit helping him along to achieve everything, and Caesar was just doing all of this impossible bullshit on the sole merit of he was that good. Like, all of the fucking weird-ass challenges that Lisa, who's, again, the fact that her name is Lisa just is like, okay, sure.
Lisa.
Her and Susie Q, and I'm like, God.
Sushi Q. Yeah, fuck, I forgot. Yeah. I did think at are you, like, when you're watching anime, do you watch the opening every time, or do you like skip it after watching it once?
For the first season, I skipped it because I didn't like the song. For the second season, that song's now on my playlist. That's a fucking banger.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so
that
good.
It's like on my like main rotation playlist, and it has been for years.
I've
sang that song at karaoke bars.
You've sang that song at karaoke bars. That's amazing.
Are you a karaoke fan?
I've only been to karaoke once, and I was not called upon to sing. There's karaoke at our local Korean barbecue place, and I went with some friends, very, like, randomly, this literally happened like 2 weeks ago. Someone was
Oh,
like,
no way.
people canceled for a birthday, so we need to fill out the reservation. You like Korean food? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, there's karaoke, but you don't have to do it if you don't want. So I think if there had been a bigger crowd of people who had actually been there, then maybe. But I did sing along while someone else sang Bohemian Rhapsody into the microphone. They were
Nice.
complaining a little bit because there were a lot of Korean songs on there, while I was just like, oh yeah, they're playing all of the Korean songs that I know just on the speakers of this Korean barbecue place. But I am not confident in my ability to approximate Korean in the form of songs, so I did not
Yeah.
volunteer to do any K-pop songs.
So it was one of those. The karaoke setup was like all in like the main common, like one big common room. So if like you go up to sing, you're singing in front of everybody, or was it, like private room based.
Rothian is discovering for the first time that they are all band name based. Yes. Suzuki, Lisa Lisa, Robert E.O. Speedwagon, ACDC, Cars. You got Led
Dire
Zeppelin.
Straits.
Oh, is Straight Sue fucking a band too? Of course he is.
Yeah, Dire Straits.
I just can't. I don't know that one. I've never heard of them before, but that's fair.
They're kind of like a jazz fusion and sort of. Dire Straits is hard to describe. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No, it really doesn't. um. Oh, and is what Tom Petty, right? Was like the monk that trained one of them or some bullshit like
I
that.
forgot.
I think I just messaged you and I was like, Tom fucking Petty is here too.
There's a stand in part 5 that's just called Green Day.
Green Day is in this. Green Day is like one of my favorite bands. Oh
Oh,
no.
nice. I love Green Day. The
I've
first album I ever, or like the first like real album I ever bought was American Idiot.
I love American Idiot. It's so good. I've seen Green Day live several times, and I actually saw the
Nice.
American Idiot musical as well. Cause
Oh, nice.
yeah. Back when I hadn't like decided on a name yet, but wasn't feeling my dead name at all. One of my friends, who was also just really into Green Day, started calling me Saint Jimmy because I listened to that song all the time, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like so great. I still let her call me that from time to time over messages because I'm like, yeah, I don't reject this. I will accept that one.
No Fucks Givens had a good JoJo take. They're like, the funniest thing about JoJo's is that they only knew it from a few people telling them to watch it, but then when they did, their brain exploded because thousands of memes they liked actually had JoJo roots.
Everybody is just sounding off in my chat about their favorite band character and or stand. Apparently, there's a Killer Queen. There's a Dirty
Killer
Deeds.
Queen is Killer Queen is an amazing stand. Like the design, or like Killer Queen is the bad guys, like the antagonist stand in part 4, and like that's one of the better like villains of all the JoJo series.
Excellent. Does Dio get a stand? Actually, don't answer
Yeah,
that. Oh, you already did. That's fine.
Everyone
tell-
has a like basically from part 2 onward, you can always.
they just all
assume
get
that,
them?
like, if like there's a character that's being introduced in the script in an episode of JoJo, it's like 90% chance they're a stand user.
Oh, I did
Like-
see that, like, on the little screens that would have been before commercials. I'm assuming they're, like, showing on part 3 now. They're like, this user, and also their stand.
Oh yeah.
Which is really cute. I actually really
Yeah,
like
those
when
are
that
fun.
happens. For My Hero Academia, they had those in
Yeah.
season, like, 2 or 3 or something, and I was like, oh, that's really cute.
My Hero Academia is just like a worse, or like a more boring version of JoJo because it's got like lots of weird zany characters in it.
It really
But
is.
like,
You've even got
like it
Bakugo,
doesn't.
who's just a stand-in. He's just a worse Dio. Actually, that's...
No, Bakugo, you mean blonde Sasuke who fights green Naruto?
I kind of love Bakugo, but I also am like, I know what your whole character arc is gonna be from, like, the first 2 interactions that I've ever seen you have, which is sad.
I have a funny story about My Hero Academia, actually.
Please go for it.
I just, The last time I was in Japan, I was meeting up with a Japanese friend, and just like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, oh, I haven't been to I haven't had the like Tokyo movie theater going experience, which I hear is pretty good. So I decided to go to a movie, and out of all the things that happened to be playing, like one the the one I chose was the first My Hero Academia movie.
Fair.
It's just like an anime movie where it's kind of like a standalone episode.
So yeah.
And I didn't know or I guess it was like I don't know what they would be called in America, but like the Canadian theaters here, when they have the seats that like will move in time with the explosion of the movie.
Oh yeah.
D-box.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
D-box where you are too?
I think we still call them like 4D theaters or some shit like that, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the theaters where I am, they're called D-box, which sounds bad, but anyways,
it does.
But, yeah. I saw Dune. The second time I saw Dune, I went for the
You saw
D-box,
Dune in the D-box. Great.
I saw Dune in the D-box. It was good. The first movie I did D-box with was 2014 Godzilla, and it was mediocre and not worth the money. For like Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which, I figured it'd be like good for a Godzilla movie, but they've improved it a bit since seeing that in 2014, so it was better with Dune. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. So we went to see this My Hero Academia movie in Tokyo, and it was like 4D.
Sure.
I didn't realize it at the time, so like I nearly dropped the popcorn bucket when the movie started playing, because like the first action scene opens and All Might does a big punch with an explosion or some shit, and then like the chair like suddenly jolts and rocks me, and then like an air blast comes from like the seat in front of me to like simulate the explosion, and I just like not clued in that the screening was like a 4D screening, and I just got bamboozled for a sec.
Oh no.
It was a fun gimmick though, like the character has the electricity powers. Every time he would do an attack, there'd be some like strobe lights in the side of the theater that would flash briefly. Stuff like that. Even though at that time I think when I watched My Hero Academia, I watched like
I've only
first
seen
3 seasons.
Yeah,
and then I was like, all right, I've had about enough.
I mean to go back and finish it, just because I feel like I've gotten far enough in it that I should finish like one of the bigger shonens so I can talk to people about it. But I haven't yet. I don't really understand why everybody's like in love with the guy that's all stitched together, and that's kind of something that I want to understand. Like I want to get what his spooky powers are, because I don't remember them from the last time I watched.
I won't be able to help you figure this out at all.
That's okay. Kirishima is my favorite. I was like, I can't actually pick Bakugo because that's going to be too mainstream. So I was like, what is the Bakugo light? And that was just Kirishima, the redheaded guy who's like, I can make my body into a rock. I'm like, yep, you're dumb. I like you. Although second choice is definitely the frog lady. She's cool as hell. Froppy's great.
Yeah, she's a standout. Rider Man X0 is asking if we've seen the Bandai Space Marine kit. I have. Are you aware that there's like Bandai Games Workshop collaboration products?
I am
on the market.
Yes, I am aware of that. I would be more excited if they weren't Space Marines, but
yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean they seem cool, but I don't want to like buy one personally.
I'm trying to like Space Marines. I just don't. So I actually I was talking with my Discord chat about this, but we're all pretty decent fans of Brian David Gilbert because his videos are funny. And that one where he reads all of the Halo novels is quite good. And I was like,
I like where this is going.
I could do the same thing with reading all of the Horus Heresy novels. And the best part is literally every person who I've told that to who isn't my chat is then like, do not do this thing. Fives, this is a bad idea. We don't think you should do this, which has only made me want to do it more. So that's
Yeah.
working out great.
Also, Silas said, My Hero Academia is a lot like X-Men, complete with the concept of gods amongst men, with some of them having really weak, stupid powers and others having difficult powers. Can you imagine? Or, and other room having difficult powers. Looks like a typo there, but yeah, I guess, I don't know, it's like X-Men, but some of the powers and heroes just get like really weird and bizarre. Like everyone's favorite, the short, like, purple horny boy.
I fucking hate him. He's so stupid. I want him to die. Just fuck Mineta. He's so terrible.
Who doesn't hate him.
He's the worst character. I don't understand why he's in that show. Kick him out. He sucks. Get him out of there.
I've never talked to anyone who like has a different opinion from that. Like, everyone I've ever talked to is like, yeah, worst character in the show.
Yeah, he's bottom of the barrel. But
like, even like the power is in design is character design is like enough in itself, but then on top of that they made him like a horny or a horn dog character, like the Peepin' Tom.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, cool, more reasons not to enjoy him.
The only credit I can give is that at least the show doesn't condone him at any point. Like, that is always something that he gets punished for in the end, which I feel like that's not always the case with animes, that they're like, this is a bad. So I guess there's that, but yeah, other than that, I can't say a positive thing about him.
No Fucks Given says the Horus Heresy series is almost one piece long. Nathaniel Ethan is reminding me about the existence of there's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure themed bar in Tokyo you can go to.
Oh, that's fun.
It has literally like hundreds of cocktails listed, like all based off of like stands or characters from the show.
That's clever.
I definitely want to go there next time I go to Tokyo, whenever that is. I have no idea.
I've never been to Japan, and I don't speak Japanese, so I'm very intimidated to try and go, and people have been like, you should just go, but I'm like, no, I don't want to be rude and not understand anything, so I'm not sure.
I'm not a globetrotter or anything, so like I haven't traveled to a lot of places, but Japan's pretty like nice place to travel to, and if you're staying in the bigger cities and like touristy areas, you can totally get by with no Japanese. It's like, it's a very westernized like East Asian country, so
all I know is
you can get by.
Stuff that I've picked up from animes, which is, you know, I can say like my please and thank you, and that's, you know, that's something, but it's definitely not like I cannot.
Oh, yeah?
I don't.
How would you say please?
Fuck.
Quick, speak Japanese to me
No!
right now.
Oh god. Oh jeez, every thought left my brain.
Put you on the spot.
Oh no. Oh no. I used to know. I don't now. Now that you've put me on the spot, I'm having anxiety about it. I know that
sorry.
like the fancy way to apologize is to say gomen no sai.
Yeah, you're right. That is the like more honorific way to apologize. Good job.
And I know the fancy way to say the thank you is the arigato gozaimasu.
Not nice.
You can do the big fucking strings of syllables, and they sound fancier as opposed to the shortened versions. But honestly, please has completely left my brain, and I'm going to change the subject so I don't have an anxiety about it, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was being a dick and asking you as a joke because like there's multiple ways to say please.
I think that's probably why my brain flew into a panic about it, but I'm also not sure.
Well, I'll stop riding my high horse on that now, I guess. I'm not even fluent, I'm just being pretentious.
I'm gonna answer that, like, in a message to you, like, an hour from now, or, like, an hour after we stop or whatever, mid-JoJo's Bizarre Adventure episode, and I'm gonna be like, fucking goddamn it, I look dumb on your stream, but I knew the answer. My brain just decided to leave my body. Rothian keeps bringing up the McFarlane, brand Space Marine, toys, which I think they're getting They're getting a variety of them now. I've seen.
Yeah,
I
I
think
always
they're
get
getting
those
it.
mixed up. I always get those mixed up with the Bandai ones. Like, do
Mm,
both Bandai and McFarlane release unpainted versions? Because I know, like, some of them you can buy them as like either
unpainted.
unpainted or painted, which I think is cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not as familiar with the Bandai one, but I know that the McFarlane ones do come unpainted, or you can get them unpainted, I should say.
Yeah, I was in a GameStop this week and they had like an unpainted Gene Stealer action figure.
They definitely feel like action figures more so than like
Yeah,
a miniature or a gunpla, which I think I mean they are action figures, but it feels different for some reason.
yeah, I would agree. So how describe to me your painting progress so far? Because we're at 2 hours in this stream,
Great,
and it's just time's just flown by for me. I
it
don't know
really
about you.
has. Yeah. I'm on my second coat of the blue color that I'm blocking out across the mini because I don't know why I decided to go back and do a second coat as opposed to blocking in another color, but that's where my brain was at. So I've basically just been painting the same color the whole time, but I did block it out across the entire figure once, and now I'm doing it again. Um, just a
And are you
rough base
painting
coat.
it like? Did you like? Are you painting like? I didn't like a small number of sections, like a leg at a time, or did you
Yeah,
fully disassemble it
I fully like not fully. I don't know. I've got it
partially?
broken into leg,
Oh yeah,
arm,
yeah.
chest piece, and like hip thing. I don't waist,
Gotcha.
torso. Would you? I don't know exactly what this part is. But yeah. So
The booty.
it's got the butt part on it as well. He doesn't really have much of an ass. It's kind of covered by a giant panel. So
Oh yeah,
no
he's got a butt flap.
no cheeks on this Gundam.
What are your thoughts on like paint? I'm assuming you're like just taking your usual like approach to painting a miniature, but you're just doing it on a gunpla.
Yep. I kind of like it. It's I
Good.
mean it's base coating, so it's not really the
Yeah.
exciting part. But it doesn't feel that like different or weird. I do notice that I'm using like my most expensive paints on what is a very large figure. So that might not have been the smartest thing for me to do, but it's fine. I'll use this
But if you
paint.
were using like paints with worse pigmentation on those like big flat panels, you might have to do more coats though,
It's
maybe.
true. Like these ones, I still want to maybe do a third coat in some areas or see what things will look like after some highlighting or some shit. But like in terms of how I expected the paint to adhere to the plastic, it's do this particular brand is doing what feels like a very good job of it. I obviously have no basis for comparison yet because I haven't used any other brand of paint on it, but it feels like it's going on pretty nicely. I'm very pleased with it.
And yeah, do you just prime it with Chaos Black or something?
I used Army Painter spray paint because that's
Oh yeah.
cheaper and also what I had in my garage.
I feel ya. I use the Army Painter, like, colored spray paints a lot when I was playing a lot of War Machine Mark II. Just because I was... Oh, that might have been my most productive painting days, just in terms of, like, a sheer number of
Hmm.
finished minis I was churning out.
And
And
that's
a
like
lot
the
of that was...
thing, right? Like you can be efficient with them, but I don't have as much fun when I've sprayed something a color as because like it's the actual painting process that I find soothing and fulfilling as opposed to being like I have completed all of these projects this week.
Yeah, when my last stream, someone asked me what my favorite part of, like, the painting process was. And I was feeling that it's, like, when I'm, like, in the the deep end of like doing the glazing and edge highlighting, like the stage that takes the longest, but I like feel the most in the zone when I'm doing it, because it's like I do enjoy applying base coats, can get zen doing that, but I feel like, you know, I hit the flow state when I'm doing the gradients and the edge highlighting.
That's fair. My favorite
about
stage, freehand for sure. I love
Oh.
being able to do freehand details on things. I'm getting better at it, but like I have an art background with drawing, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that gives me a bit of a leg up there, but I quite enjoy painting like stripes, checkers, little pictures of cupcakes or ice cream or what will be pizzas on this guy. Like that's always the part that I find the most fun. I feel like I should paint some more serious war stuff at some point, just so I can like compare it to other people's freehand that they do and see how that turns out. But yeah, I love doing the freehand on stuff.
Yeah, see, I feel like I've always been, well, I used to make my living doing photography and stuff. Like, I've been into photography for a long time and just working with cameras in general, and I feel like it's drawn to that, and also just stuff like painting miniatures and models, because I've always felt like bad at doing freehand stuff. Or like I drew a decent amount as a kid, but I didn't go down like the art route in school. I was more of a band kid, so I never like really developed the freehand skills too hard.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I've done a bit of freehand in the last. Yeah, I've done it like on projects here and there, and seen some improvement. Like my Red Bull God Gundam, I put freehand on the calves. On one calf, I wrote the calories that was on the side of the can, and then on the other calf, I wrote the milliliters.
That's great. I mean, the freehand that you did on the Kyle Space Marine, just getting the monster
yeah.
logo on there, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I remember when I was painting that, I'm like, will this look good if it's just like 3 lines with a slight hook in one green, and then just copy it again with another green? I did that. I'm like, well, damn, it's like, that's the Monster Energy logo, all right, on a Space Marine shoulder. It looks great.
I loved it. It was a great first video. I was like, because I remember when you were posting about making your first video and stuff. It was fun.
Back in the good old Goobertown town square.
Goobertown Discord has honestly got me connected with so many people in this hobby. So
Yeah,
I can't I can't say anything bad about it. I've had great time there. Met a lot of
It's
great
hard to
people.
say anything bad about Brent in general.
I don't want to say anything. The only thing I'll say about Brent is that he clearly did not read the Relic Blade rulebook very close to the point in time where we played Relic Blade. So that's about it.
How was your Relic Blade game?
So much fun.
With your Swedish Fish minis?
Yeah, you remembered. You remembered. Yeah, their Swedish Fish Relic Blade team. Lurkers of the Deep or Apostles of the Deep is the faction name, I think, but something of the Deep. It went great. I have all the footage. I think the audio's kind of shit, probably just because, you know, we were in a con gate space.
You're recording in a con hall.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to upload that in its entirety, or try and edit it, or just put it in as, like, part of another video with some stuff about Gen Con. So I haven't quite decided what to use it for. And I haven't really, like, taken a look at it to edit it very much.
Yeah.
So I need to sort of figure out what I'm doing with it. But it was very fun to actually play. And, like, to just be there building terrain out of whatever trash we had on hand. All of us kind of forgetting the rule books. It was great.
Proper wargaming experience.
I would say it's an authentic one. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of
rules, making terrain out of garbage.
I've seen a lot of polished battle reports. Okay, I don't know that I've seen a lot of accurate to how I actually play a game battle reports, because that is not a polished procedure. If you're looking to learn how to play Relic Blade, this video will not teach you.
Yeah, speaking of polished battle reports, I'm like, this week I've been doing a lot of painting of the thing I'm painting now, but it's just slowly starting to get into editing my battle report, and like, it's gonna be, I have no idea, like, how I'm gonna balance, my usual dumb jokes and like actual gameplay, and like how much to cut out. It's like, I know some people want to see, like, yeah, I want to see the whole game and all its crunchiness. Or like some people appreciate more of like, if I can cut this battle report down to be as short and engaging as possible, they'll like that. But yeah, I had some technical issues with my recording too, but not enough to like ruin the recording or anything.
I'm glad it didn't get ruined. That's always the worry there.
Yeah, I was setting up like, 2 LAV mics, 3 cameras, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, something is gonna go wrong. It's just a question of what. Thankfully, the thing that went wrong was just a little hiccup. It wasn't like, one of the mics dying and then us not, like, recording 20 minutes of gameplay footage with only one mic working. That's what I was afraid of happening.
That's fair.
Because that's like a situation. Like, I want to avoid a situation where I have to be like, all right, all 3 of you, I need you all to come over for another day of filming the battle report.
We can't use anything that I filmed. We need to do it again.
Start over.
Throw it out. Now, see, I noticed that you prime all your Gundams black usually. I tend to not do that because I like to work with stupid, bright pastel colors. I did prime this one black. And I have to put in some yellow for the pizza bits, and I'm debating whether I should try the So Flat yellow just straight out of the pot on top of yellow, or like do a off-white base coat to see if it'll show up better under that. That's a choice that I'm gonna have to make. So I'm just gonna paint.
Like, tradition would say do the off-white base layer first, but if you want to test the power of your fancy, expensive paint,
we'll have to see if my fancy, expensive paint has the same like vigor to it as a good JoJo protagonist would, to just decimate all in its path with its superior stand and or bullshit magic mask power.
Yeah, I usually prime black because when I'm painting a Gundam, I usually like work from the like inner frame, like under skeleton colors out, and that's usually, or like the it's like usually some kind of metallic, and especially if it's a shifter paint, they look best when you put them over a black. So
they do.
There's my Gundam Age kit badge that I did last summer, though. I experimented on that, and I put some shifter paints over like a light gray primer base, and that gave an interesting effect. It like looked almost pearly.
Ooh, that's cool.
Silas is trying to guess if I was a woodwind, string, or percussionist band kid.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I played the bass clarinet,
You were
nerdiest.
You were Squidward in the band. Great. Excellent.
No, I was the bass clarinet. Squidward was just regular clarinet. The bass. Imagine a clarinet that's like a little thicker and longer and like stretched into a kind of a weird saxophone shape.
Like somewhere between a clarinet and a bassoon.
Yeah. It's like a clarinet that's been elongated and made into a Trogdor S or something.
Trogdor the clarinet.
Yeah.
I know Hector.
I heard a meow.
Yeah, he's like, this is usually when you stop painting and watch cartoons with me. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, should we start wrapping up the stream since we're past 2 hours now?
We probably should, yeah. This has been great. I have so much fun, I don't realize the time passing with these. But Hector here plays referee. He's scolding me for painting so late into the night.
So both chats, if you have any things
we'll
you
take
need to tell us or ask us, you gotta do it now. Now's your last chance.
15 minutes Q&A. Yeah, what was
They're
Scorpio
not even
saying?
15. They got like 5-7 minutes tops. I don't know. Let's make them feel the heat.
Yeah.
Cyber Scorpio, I did not view the shorts you mentioned the last stream. I'm sorry. I painted for 3 hours and then I got tired and didn't think of it.
That's fair. I don't remember mentioning shorts last stream, so that's either on my memory or you not watching them. I can't recommend them again.
They're talking about like the stream I did on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I know people in my chats want to share things sometimes, but I'm usually pretty focused on the painting on the streams.
Okay.
Sorry,
cool.
not sorry.
Samuel Hodges says bass clarinet is a lovely instrument.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
Rothian says this has been a great stream. I agree. I quite love doing these. They're very, very fun.
Oh, Silas also said there's some. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but there's some conversation about taquitos are like little tacos and cigarettes are petite cigars.
Okay.
That's entertaining.
That's great. Hector wants to be on camera now because he's a little ham, so we're gonna get some cat footage. Yeah.
Oh, good.
There's the boy. There's the boy. He's saying, everybody go the fuck to sleep. It's late and my human's been busy. He's rude.
Alright, see ya, Nathaniel. He's going to bed.
Cool.
No Fucks Given says they like the Winter's SEO battle reports. I recognize that name, but I haven't watched any of his. The battle reports I like watching are the Conquest ones that Play on Tabletop does.
Play on Tabletop is... They put in the little effects and stuff.
Yeah. And like the hosts are just like good and energetic.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of battle reports because I don't have the attention span.
I don't watch, they're not my most watched kind of YouTube video, that's for sure, but I've been watching them more as I've been, trying to make my own. I was gonna say, I've done like 3 streams this week to kind of like catch up from not doing as many streams, but I have to like focus more on my battle report for next week, so I don't know when I can do the next guest live stream, but
that's fair.
The bonus is that the longer we wait in between guest streams, then the more potential episodes of JoJo you can watch. Right?
Exactly, yeah. I'll definitely be back though. I feel this is gonna be reoccurring for us, and it's good. It breaks up the I wouldn't say monotony, but it's just nice to have something different every now and again for streaming.
Well, yeah, now that we've done the second one, it officially is recurring. So
it is, yeah.
Let's go.
3rd stream, I'll just draw us as JoJo characters. It'll be great. It'll be
shit.
Fantastic. I'll be like, you know what? Usually I paint minis. Today I'm gonna do something even stupider with my time. It'll be a blast.
Emil is asking, would I ever be interested in doing battle reports of Gamma Wolves with my Gundam models for the channel? That is, in fact...
It's happening!
I filmed one last week, so... Yeah, there you go.
Alright.
There's 111 gigabytes of footage, though, so I need lots of time to edit it.
Alright, I feel like that's a good note to end on. You did a self-promo. I've had a blast. I'm gonna probably go watch some anime and then go to bed. So I hope you have a nice night, Liam. And thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. You've also been a delight.
Yes, thanks for coming, everybody, and thanks for the second guest stream, Fiverr, and I look forward to the next one.
Alright, bye!
Bye, everybody.